Hello, folks. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling healthy. Uh, Welcome back to this really beautiful autumn day. We had some rain last night. It cleared up. We had some clouds, and now of course, it's heading towards sunset. It's actually kind of warm outside, so it's really nice. And got to go outside a little bit. Now, I still haven't found my camera. My room has eaten it, but I'm really hoping I do find it because I want to get some outside shots. Anyway, today we're going to talk about Comfrey. I want you to look it up. It has a fascinating history. It was also called knit bone, and you can imagine why. Comfrey was brought to the U.S. Kind of late, probably in the late 1800s, primarily as cannon fodder. Oh, let's try that again. It was brought in the late 1800s, those poor cows, for cow fodder. Cannon fodder. Okay, cow fodder. Um, it was used to help fatten up the cows. There's still question if it was nutritious, but it did have a lot of water in it, so it could fatten the cows very quickly. Actually, it just made them swell a bit, added some weight. And then it got loose. And it's a weed. When I went back east, I saw wild comfrey. Lord, it was well. It was huge. I've never seen those sizes of leaves before in my life, or as much comfrey. Just out there, just out there. It was scary. It was fascinating. It was like a Stephen King monster. But if you get the chance, go to Wikipedia, read about it. For hundreds, if not thousands of years, it was used as a poultice. That means that the plant was crushed up and then placed on a wound. Now, if you want to make it, or you have to make one, put a thin cloth between the plant matter and the wound. Again, make sure any wound is clean. Okay. And there's my old friend Joe Schilling, also known as Joe Deer Runner, who actually tried to get into the Guinness Book of Records by eating an entire Tesla. And at the end, when he was done, he went, I could have had a V8. True story. So, no one knows exactly who figured out that the comfrey leaf could help to speed up cell regeneration, not just in wounds, but also in burns. Now, in burns, I can see it because it's watery and it's cooling, and you can crush that up, place it on a burn. More about that later. Now, the root can be used also, assuming you can get it out. The roots can take unusual shapes, kind of long and thin, like a carrot, or round, like a ball, or rounder, like a tetherball. And yes, I have, you can slice them up and use them like soap. You can melt them down and make salves along with the leaves. Warning though, if you're going to make a salve, you will use olive oil and wax, melt them slowly, and then add in the chunks of root and leaf. Remember that the leaf has a great deal of water, and that will come out. It'll start to foam up. So you have to keep the oil fairly low, or it will foam over. It will burn you. So be advised, be careful. So at some point, at least during the medieval ages in Europe, the salves were used as well as the poultices. Salves, why? Well, the salves could be carried for a longer amount of time. It could be transported. The leaves, if you pluck them, within minutes they wilt. Okay, you can still use them, but there's always the question of, are they as good? I don't know. But I have two comfrey plants out back. You can't kill them, they'll always show up. So I can just pluck as much of the fresh leaves as I want. For the holidays, I am going to make the salve. I'm going to place them in small tins, small round tins, and I'm going to give those out as gifts. You can add to this plant matter you are brewing up, like an old witch. You could add in black nightshade or poison nightshade. Don't go, no, won't hurt you, won't hurt you. As an emollient, it'll make the skin softer. And you want that, especially if there is going to be scarring, if there's going to be a burn scar, you want that. So there are numerous recipes online on how to pull this off. I'm not going to show it because I don't have my camera, but I will tell you, look for it and find one that fits your mood, okay? And don't rush it. Take your time. Take your time. Now, more about the root. The root is really powerful for broken bones. It was called knit bone. And you can either use it as a crushed poultice, because you got to crush it, or again as a salve. I prefer it as a salve. When my mother broke her hip, she fell, broke her hip. It was called a tri-break, and the orthopedic surgeons said, Mr. Garcia, they don't get much worse. It's just, she's never going to walk again. And I got angry, and I said, I'll see you in, what I said. So my students and I made an incredible salve and also an oil. And 3 times a day, we would go into her room. We would hide the fact that we were applying this on her surgical wound, um, and it would go through. It would go into the bone. 6 weeks later, my mom got an X-ray, and the surgeon said, "Mr. Garcia, I would like you to see this." I said, "Yeah, okay." So I looked at it, and he said, "Your mother has healed 6 months in 6 weeks." This is where the break was. "Can you see it?" Looked at it and said, "No, I can't, doctor." I said, "Yeah, I can't either." "Would you know how this happened?" "No idea. My mom does pray a lot." Smiled. I said, "Oh, okay. By the way, what do you do?" "Oh, I'm a journalist." "Oh, that's interesting, sir." So we had a brief talk about Comfrey and how at that time people thought it could cause cancer. And I explained that the tests that had been run um, were the leaves were taken from a field which had a great deal of agricultural and industrial runoff. And if you grow your own, you'll be fine. There's no issue. So mom, after a lot of therapy, she walked into her home. She said, "Chucky, let me do it." And she walked back into her home. That's how powerful Comfrey is. Now, you can drink the tea. It has been cited as a tea that can help after internal surgeries, um, after stomach cancer surgeries, after severe ulcers. It can help. Now, I've never had a client who used it for ulcers, but I probably at some point will. I'm not afraid of it. So I want you to look it up. I want you to check it out. I think you'll find it interesting. Please write me back. Let me know what you think. If you have questions about it, I will gladly answer them. Also, please, if you decide to plant this, plant it in a large pot. Don't plant it in your garden. It is an invasive. It will take over, and you don't want that. And somehow, either a bird ate a seed or something. I have 2 plants, one on either side of the backyard. I don't know how the other one got there. So let me think. Oh, my friend Joe just wrote, "Might be entertaining to try planting it here and see how it deals with the dry, hot temps of Nevada." I think that as long as you give it water, keep it moist. Maybe a early evening cocktail. It might be fine. Um, it it originated in a hot area of Eurasia, so it might stand it. Just might. Um, so yeah, try planting it, folks. See what happens. If you're going to drink the tea out of it, buy the tea commercially. Okay. Don't try to process it yourself. It'll just take too long, and it may rot instead of just drying up. Now, if you want to dry it up, make a powder or a tea, put it in your car on the dashboard. That's the easiest and fastest way. If you if it's cold weather time, you can put it in your oven on low, and that should also do it. Place it on a tray. Okay. So enjoy this. I'm trying to keep these short until I can get a larger group of folks. I think I covered most of what I wanted to. So, folks, be happy, be healthy, have a good autumn, and if I forget, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Don't forget the turkey herbs. So I will see you in a week or less. All right. Take care. Be healthy. Be happy. Be strong.